What's going on, you guys? Welcome on back to the channel. Now, I think it's safe to say ReZero has had an interesting offseason, to say the least, when it comes to the lead up of this new core. But that's all in the past now, because now I can finally say the PV for Core 2 of ReZero Season 4 is finally here. And with it, this honestly looks like some of the best stretch of ReZero I think I've ever seen. The animation looks insane, everything looks so good, and I just cannot wait to see this, man. I cannot wait for this to drop next week. So without further ado, let's just get into it. Let's talk about this brand new PV for ReZero Season 4. Oh, actually, before we get into it, I should preface this now. Everything that I'm talking about in this video is coming from the perspective of an anime only when it comes to ReZero. So anything that I say within this video, whether I'm right about something or I'm completely off base, it's all from an anime only perspective. So please, I'm begging, no spoilers in the comment section, but I am open for any and all discussion surrounding ReZero within the comment section, because that was something that I loved so much covering ReZero last core. I loved the conversation aspect and being able to talk about this series with everybody. So that's what I want the most, like just really good discussion about this PV. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So the first thing that I really wanted to talk about was I like how this PV actually starts. I like that we get like black and white flashbacks of everything that happened within the past core. I like how it kind of starts black and white because our version of Subaru is gone and his memories are gone. And then it really only starts getting back into color as we see Amnesia Subaru coming back into the focus. That is honestly a really cool choice. But after that moment, after we get done with all of the essentially like recap within the PV, that is when we get into the truly great content within the trailer, because you see Subaru wake up, and then we get to see the scene essentially where we left off essentially within last core. We get to see Subaru waking up to Emilia and Beatrice. And what I like so much about this scene is you can tell just from within this one shot how everything has changed for Subaru in this moment. While even though Beatrice and Emilia are looking at Subaru the same way as they have been throughout these previous loops, where they've been finding him in the library and they've been bringing him back and all that. Like, even though they've been looking at him the exact same way, Subaru is looking at them completely differently because of everything that happened with Subaru and Emilia last episode. Because even though Emilia doesn't remember anything, Emilia had a heartfelt confession to Subaru last episode, right? And because of that confession, it has completely changed everything for Amnesia Subaru. So now we actually get to see like the effects of that entire confession on Amnesia Subaru throughout the I feel like throughout the entirety of this core, because you as Emilia is talking to him, you can see him actually blushing within the scene. So that's honestly a really nice touch and a really good detail within the scene. We're getting to see subtle character growth within that moment, and I think that's honestly really cool. That's a really good way to show like character growth for Subaru within that moment. Now, moving on from that, we then get to see Meili looking at herself in the mirror. Now, this scene is one that I'm very interested in to see where it goes, because I think at this moment, I think Meili has effectively betrayed the group and she's essentially left them for dead. I think that's what we're starting to see, like Meili resolute herself to. I think she's ready to turn on the group at this point because of everything that's happened last core. Like, I think it's just that time. I think Meili has been a snake in the grass this entire core, or this entire last core, and it's just a matter of time for when she switches up on the cast, right? It's not a matter of if, it's pretty much a matter of when. And I think honestly the first episode back, we're going to see Meili potentially betray the group. But that's more for like within later in the video. But moving on from that, we then get an interesting scene actually of Subaru and Rom, where we get to see Rom pull Subaru like in close, and it kind of looks like they kiss. I'm not 100% sure on that. Like, if that actually happens, that's very interesting. Like, how does that change the dynamics of the characters? Like, does Rom end up developing feelings because of this? Like, does Amnesia Subaru develop any kind of feelings for Rom because of this? Like, and this does this create like a kind of like love square situation of Emilia, Subaru, Rem, and Rom? That would definitely be weird, or I don't know, not weird, but definitely interesting if they go that route where like Amnesia Subaru has different feelings for characters than our version of Subaru does. That could actually be an interesting dynamic to for them to actually explore. I think that could be cool actually, where like Amnesia Subaru has these one set of feelings, but our version of Subaru that we know and love has completely different feelings. It kind of separates them and shows that they're own distinct characters with their own distinct feelings about everything. I think that would actually be cool. That could be an interesting dynamic to explore within the season. Like, what do these feelings represent? How do they like kind of change the scope of the season? I think that could actually be really cool for them to dive into. But moving on from that, we then get a scene of Subaru and Julius together in what looks like a stairway. And we get to see Subaru like putting his fist right on Julius's chest. And you get to see Julius like looking stunned in that moment. And what I think this is I think Subaru in this moment is trying to encourage Julius to keep moving forward, right? Because I think in this moment, Julius might be feeling, I don't know, maybe like down. Maybe he feels like he's not worthy of being Anastasia's knight because of everything that happened last cour, where he didn't know like all of the Echidna stuff. Subaru knew it, so he probably doesn't feel worthy. But I think Subaru in this moment is trying to convey to Julius that no, you are worthy of being Anastasia's knight. You just have to do what you do best and protect her. I think that's essentially going to be the essence of that scene. And that's honestly going to be something that's really good because even though our version of Subaru like had that really great episode with Julius back in the first cour, getting to see something like this for Amnesia Subaru, where throughout the entirety of like him being introduced, where Amnesia Subaru being introduced into the narrative, we've seen him really do is not trust anybody, think everybody's out to kill him throughout the entirety of his arc. But getting to see this moment too, where again, another example of growth where it looks like he's encouraging Julius and trying to get him to essentially lock in. That's so great to me because again, that's another example of the character evolution that Amnesia Subaru has been on, where he's learning that not everybody wants to kill him. Not the entire group doesn't want to kill him. He has all of these positive relationships that he's trying to remember, and they're all coming to the surface. There's only one person that wants him dead. And I think he's finally starting to realize it. And with this scene where you get to see like Julius looking shocked, I think that's our Amnesia Subaru, like again, like locking it, telling him to lock in and essentially trying to get his feelings across about how much he values him as a friend and as a partner, like within this whole situation. I think that's essentially what's going on here. And I would love that if that's the case because like Subaru and Julius's kind of like dynamic is one of my favorite things about ReZero. And essentially Julius becoming the Deuteragonist was one of my favorite things about this arc so far. So getting to see more of Julius, man, I have no complaints there. But moving on from that, we then get to see a whole horde of mobbies storming the tower. And what's interesting about this is we get to see Shaula being on the front lines here. Like you get to see the three red dots in her eyes, and then she launches what I think is like her own special attack, where like there's like these huge ring type things, and she can just like summon these at will. Now, what I think this is personally is I think this is Meili launching her attack on the group. Like I said earlier in the video, I said earlier that Meili was going to turn on the group at some point. It was just a matter of like when she's going to do it, how she's going to do it, and I think we found our how. She's essentially going to sick every mob beast that was remember during the first cour here where they were essentially crossing the desert, and Meili was essentially the one to have to hold back the mobbies so that way they could actually get through the desert. I think she's going to sick every single mobbies that is there on the tower and essentially just try to kill everybody there. I think that's what Meili's ultimate goal is going to be now. I think she wants to take out Subaru and anybody else that gets her in her way at this point. And Shaula is going to be that first line of defense, who's not only going to be defending the tower because that's what I feel like her main job is to protect the tower, but also to protect who she views as her master in Subaru. That's why we see her launching that full attack and why we get to see the dots in her eyes. It's to show that she's fully locked in on not only defending the tower, but also defending Subaru. That's a really good scene, and I cannot wait to see where that scene goes in particular. That's going to be a really good one to see play out. But then we get to see a bunch of like cool impact frames, and then you get to see just Julius taking out a bunch of different creatures. And can I just say, the animation and like the character artwork on Julius in this moment looks so good. This is such a step up from even just like the last cour. Like I thought the last cour already looked like spectacular. But the fact that we're getting stuff like this where this whole shot just looks incredible, like the fact that we might potentially like have episodes that look this amazing within the cour, like throughout the entirety of its runtime, I can't wait, man. Like, I feel like the action is just going to keep getting better and better. And I'm right, because right after that, we have a scene of Julius and Emilia teaming up to fight Gluttony. This is going to be such a good fight. I feel like I cannot wait to see how this is executed in the anime because there's so many different aspects at play here for this fight. Gluttony is a character whose fingerprints are all over the narrative. Like for Julius and for Rem and for Emilia, his fingerprints are everywhere. So getting to see this fight play out, especially to see Julius fighting him, that's just something that I have been wanting to see, and I didn't know if we were going to see it. So the fact that we get to see Julius and Emilia team up to fight who I view as like one of the biggest antagonists within the series is just such a good moment and is only helping my case to I guess say that Julius is the deuteragonist within this cour because he's doing a lot of the heavy lifting with the fighting. Like we got to see he's fighting like those creatures from literally the last scene. I feel like there's going to be more stuff going on with Julius. Like Julius, I feel like is going to be busy when it comes to fighting, but he's going to be proving his worth as a knight. So I'm looking forward to that. But moving on from that, we then get a cool scene of Beatrice. So I think Beatrice is going to have maybe a larger role than she had last cour. Like last cour, she had some great moments, but I think this season we're going to get to see her do a lot more fighting, which I'm very interested to see. Like, will she be fighting along side by side with Amnesia Subaru? That's something that I'm looking forward to see. But then we get to see Rom launching a spell. Now, this could mean a lot of different things. Like, is she launching this spell at Subaru? I don't think so. I think Rom is honestly going to get her own big fight within this cour. I don't know who she could possibly be fighting, but Rom I feel like is just such a good character that I feel like her not getting a fight like to get her sister back, get Rem back. I feel like her not getting a fight in this arc wouldn't make sense. So I feel like she's gonna be fighting somebody within this arc, and I feel like it's gonna take up a majority of the season. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is just her like launching a spell at Subaru. I don't know. But I feel like she's going to be having her own big fight throughout this season. And I'm all for that because we haven't seen Rom really get like a fight all of her own since what, season 2? I think it's been that long. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that all means. But then moving on from that, we get to see Reid again. Now, after Emilia is using her ice hammer attack, now getting to see Reid again is very interesting because the last time we saw Reid was when him and Julius were getting ready to do their fight. So, what happens within that fight? Does Julius win and Reid helps them out, or what happens there? That's what I think is going to be very interesting to see play out because that, like I said, that I feel like is one of the biggest fights. So seeing potentially what Reid could be doing with that within this cour is something I'm looking forward to seeing play out. But then the best stretch of the material starts, where we get to see Subaru in what looks like essentially the same chamber or corridor thing that he was in like the final shot of the opening. So we finally reached this big moment. And I like the fact that it's Amnesia Subaru that's here. I always thought it was going to be like our version of Subaru. No, it's Amnesia Subaru, which I think is really cool. But we then get to see him in this like hallway thing. It looks really cool actually. Looking back at it, it actually looks really good. But I don't know what this entails, but you get to just see him. You get to see him looking at somebody, and the person that he's looking at looks like another Gluttony. Now, I don't know how right this is. I don't know who this could possibly be, if it's actually just Gluttony, but this is what I think is going to be the big like thing within the season because as we know, like Gluttony has been this thing that has been marketed throughout the entirety of the cour, but we haven't seen Gluttony at all yet. So the fact that now we're finally getting to see them, the fact that they're finally making a presence within the narrative, it means everything is about to pop off. And I'm looking forward to that so much. But then we get to see Subaru essentially what it looks like he's just crying, right? Like he's breaking down and he's crying. And at first, I didn't understand why he was crying, but then I remembered. And then we get to see the very next shot. We get to see him looking at Rem, and you're seeing him break down because not only is he remembering, but I think Rem is also remembering everything about Subaru in this moment. Like, oh man, the reunion between these two characters in particular is going to be so good because we have not seen Rem like walking and talking since what, season 1. Yes, we had that one scene like in the last cour with Rem where she cut off Subaru's head and restarted the loop, but aside from that, we have not seen Rem talk in years. So the fact now that it looks like we're finally going to get to see Rem walking around again. We're going to get to see Subaru process his emotions surrounding that. It's just going to be so good, man. I cannot wait to see where this cour goes, see everything play out like on screen, man. It's just going to be so good. But with that being said, that's the end of the PV. That's where it wraps up. And yeah, man, this is going to be generational. I cannot wait to see how this all plays out within the cour. Like, this is going to be some of my favorite stuff to make videos for, just this cour. But like I said, I think that's gonna be it for me. Like I said before, though, definitely hop into the comments. If there's anything that I missed, let me know because I'm very much looking forward to the discussion aspect of this video. That's the main reason why I made it. I love like just theories and all that. So please don't spoil, like I said, because I am an anime only, but I'm looking forward to all the discussion that I feel like can be had here. But I think that's going to do it for me. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys for when the cour officially starts next week. I cannot wait to get these videos started, man. But that's gonna do it. See you guys in the next video. Bye.